Good afternoon. We are here in the press conference for USA national team. In the table is the head coach, BJ Callahan, and the player, Georgi Milaholevich. He officially opened the question, so if you want to make a question, you raise your hand. And remember that this conference is only in English. No questions in Spanish, okay?
Hi, Coach. How are you? Canada, different players from the Nations League final, but same coach, same tactics, same ideal. Having said that, what worries you the most, if there's something that worries you, especially from Canada?
Yeah, I think they're obviously a really well-coached team. John does a great job with them. They've got a really clear identity, really clear tactical game plan of how they approach these games. We know it's going to be an organized team, a team that's going to send a lot of numbers into the attack. So, that's something that we have to be ready for. And he's also a great coach that does, we'll have the team motivated and ready. So the intensity and the strong mentality that they'll come out with, we also have to be prepared for.
BJ Archbell with CONCACAF.com. Since you got a hold of this group before the group stage, up until this point, where has this team made the biggest strides in its football?
For us, it's been about getting better each day. Leading into the Jamaica match, we had 3 days of training. Guys were coming basically from all over, coming from MLS clubs, coming from off seasons. So I would say the biggest improvement has just been the connection of the group on and off the field, understanding what we're trying to do, getting back into the rhythm of some of the identity that we want to be and who we want to be. And so for us, it's just been about constant improvement in all phases. And I think the team has really grown each. We look at it each day. The outside gets to see it in each match. And I think each match we've shown, a good level of improvement.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Georgie. Pilar Perez from ESPN International. First, Coach, besides Jackson, that just came into the tournament, and Gaga, every player have had the opportunity to prove themselves in the group stage. How hard it is for you to choose who's going to start tomorrow? And for Georgie, Canada's coach said that one of the biggest strengths of that team is the ability to change the back line from 5 to 4 defenders, depending on the game. How complicated it is to face a team like that? Thank you.
This is one of the hardest parts of the job. These guys are so committed to one another. They're so committed to playing the way that we want to play. And just as you said, they've all performed really well. So it's an extreme, picking tomorrow's lineup is a big challenge. And it's something that I feel, I'm happy that the players have done that because that's what we want. We want a really competitive environment, and we hope that we're able to field a really good team for the starting 11. And also, I think it's been shown throughout this entire, the group stage, and will become even more important when we now go into face Canada in the knockout. That everyone understands that they're going to have to, be called upon, and everyone's going to play a role. And we constantly preach to our guys that, someone's going to make a big play that doesn't think at the moment they're going to make a big play, and they're going to be able to make a big contribution to our team. So we know we'll rely on every player tomorrow, and look to have a strong performance.
Your question was about the formation from a 5 to a 4 and how we play against it. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's not really changing what we do. I think we have our philosophy, the way we want to defend and put pressure to the opponent. When we're in training, when we're in the film room, we're watching what weaknesses they might have, and in training we're doing our best to exploit that. But in the games, when they're switching from 5 to 4, it's then comes down to our personnel and how we are on the field and how cohesive we are, and recognizing when they change and applying certain pressures in the areas that we think we could win the ball.
Thomas Floyd, The Washington Post. BJ, what's the injury status of the roster going into knockout rounds, in particular with Miles and Jordan after you had to manage their minutes in the group stage?
Yeah, I can tell you that all players have trained full this week, and everyone's healthy and available for selection.
Thank you, Coach, again. How difficult, or if difficult, have been to find the right pair of wingers, depending on what you want? We've seen Alex struggling a little bit in the tournament. Then we've seen Christian on the right side. Then on the left side, on the left game, we've seen Cowell coming in. Now Jordan is back. How difficult is for you, from what you want from the team, to find that right pairing? Thank you.
For us, I think they all bring some unique attributes, and really, we're looking at it in a way that we think what can be the best matchup for us. And not only is it the best matchup for the starting of the game, but again, we continue to preach to these guys, it's not about the quantity of the minutes that you're going to play, but it's about the quality of the minutes you're going to play. And I think you've seen a lot of them, especially the wingers, make big impacts even coming off of the bench. And what we're trying to do is just set them up to be the best version of themselves with the type of quality that they have versus the direct matchup that they're going to go against with the opponent.
Georgie, good afternoon. Juancho Villaverde, ESPN. Yesterday, I spoke with Cavallini, and he told me that for them, playing against the USA is like a derby. How you guys feel about playing against Canada, even that you guys face a real classic against Mexico, let's say, but do you feel that Canada is like a new derby for you or new classic?
We understand their quality side. They were in the last World Cup, and in the next World Cup they'll be there as well. We also understand that we have quality too, and for us to make it to the semifinals, that's just one team in front of us. We're treating it like it's just an opposition instead of a derby. We respect them, of course. We know they have quality with the coach and their quality of the players, but for us, we're focusing on what we're bringing to the field and how we're going to perform instead of what this game might mean for them.
Hi, Kenta Hagiwara, Area Sports Network. This isn't usual to have a whole week before a match and to have all that time in between. And the fans haven't been able to watch the team play for a while now. How have you been able to use that time to practice and train and improve the team? And what's been the most beneficial part of having that much time in between a match?
First and foremost, I think the rest and recovery part was paramount coming off of the first 3 games of the group stage. It also allowed us to really focus a couple days on ourselves specifically, and then you can start to layer in the game plan. And in our environment, given a 4-day sort of build-up between matches, it allows us to work through all of our processes on and off the field to prepare these guys. And that's how we spent it, and the expectation is that we'll be able to put in a good performance from there.
Okay, we open the virtual conference. So Andrew Jones, you can make your question.
Thank you very much. Coach, just want to ask you, we had a conversation with Matt McIllis yesterday, and the personality that he is with Brandon Vasquez, really saying how outgoing he is and how unfiltered he is. Just your thoughts on working with Matt McIllis so far, this tournament, what he's brought to this team. And for you, Georgie, I don't know if you saw in terms of the 4th of July answers to bring to a barbecue that the team was saying. Do you have any thoughts of any 4th of July food that you would bring to a barbecue that the team was saying in the Instagram videos? Thank you.
Matt specifically has been a great teammate to everybody, a leader, holding people accountable. He's got a ton of experience sharing that. I think he's played really well in his opportunities, and you can just see a player that's really comfortable in who he is. And again, I can't speak more highly of when you have confidence in yourself and you're able to give that to other players. He's making players around him better. At the same time, as an older, more experienced and veteran player, taking on a leadership role inside our group as well. So I think he's had a tremendous Gold Cup, and look forward to having it continue.
The question was what I'd bring to a 4th of July party.
Barbecue.
The barbecue we had.
Well, not our barbecue, but a 4th of July barbecue.
Oh, yeah, probably my girlfriend. I don't know. The food's gonna be there probably, so. Yeah.
Okay, and the last question is for Douglas. Mantari, you can make your question.
Thank you guys for doing this. BJ, sorry if this was asked off the top. Last month before the Nations League final, some of the Canadian players talked about some of the gamesmanship that's gone on in the past when these teams have met. Maybe we saw some of that when John Herman said that this was the matchup that he wanted in the quarterfinals against you guys. It seems like you've tried to stay above the fray, not get into any of that stuff, certainly outwardly. Is there any temptation to use that as bulletin board material? How accurate is that you're, not paying attention to any of that stuff? Thanks.
When we got this group together, one of the main objectives was to continue to battle test them and have them play in high stakes, high intensity matches versus high level opponents. We had to earn our way to this opportunity to knock out and the opportunity to face Canada. And again, they're a well-coached team. They're kind of going through that second cycle now of guys. You can see the depth that they have. They're a World Cup level opponent, so this is exactly the type of match that we want to challenge our group with. We know that this experience that we have tomorrow night will pay dividends in the future. It's a World Cup opponent that played in 2022 and a World Cup opponent that's going to play in 2026. So again, the more experience that we can have in high stakes, high intensity matches as we look down the road to 2026, it'll only benefit us and it'll benefit the players as well.
Okay, this is the finish for the press conference. Thank you so much and good luck tomorrow.